Have you ever wondered what sound silence makes when the temperature drops to -30 degrees? Or how it feels to drift towards sleep, knowing that the stormy wind outside could tear down your shelter before dawn? Tonight, we're traveling back to that time when closing your eyes for a little rest was an act of quiet courage. When the open prairies of the West were blanketed in snow, survival wasn't just about gathering food and fire. It was the fragile, priceless art of sleep. Before we step into this chilling journey, a small request. If your mind is ready to walk into the past, hit that like button and subscribe so you can always stay with me in these dark corners of history. In the comments, let me know where are you watching from and what time is it there right now. Someone might be awake in the deep silence of night, someone starting their morning, or somewhere in between. Now dim the lights a bit. Turn on a fan if you want that gentle hum in the background feels good. Get comfortable. We're beginning tonight's silent history journey. Imagine you're standing on the vast plains of Wyoming. The year is 1872, January. The sky is grey as if a thin cloth has been drawn between earth and heaven. Snow has been falling steadily for 3 days. At first soft, then slanting sharply in the wind from beyond the horizon. You're miles from any town. Your cabin, if you can call it a home, is a hurried pile of rough logs, gaps stuffed with mud, moss, and whatever was available. Done before the ground froze. Solid dot tonight. Like every winter night, your only goal: sleep. Give your weary body a little rest, so that when light filters through the wall cracks in the morning, you can wake again. But here, in this time, sleep is never easy. The day's rhythm is tied mercilessly to the sun. You rise before dawn, there's no choice. The fire from night has died to coals. If you don't relight it quickly, the cold will sink into your bones, making movement painful. Even inside the cabin, your breath hangs white in the air. A thin layer of frost patterns the inner walls like winter itself, decorating with floral designs. Your boots, left by the fire, are still stiff, leather frozen, hard, forcing them on risks frostbite to know from experience. So you sit by the fire, coaxing it slowly, saving wood carefully. Because wood is running low, and every piece is precious. This is how every day begins, and this memory stays with you all day, knowing that at night you'll have to do it all again. Prepare for sleep. Sleep itself has become a task. Let's see what it was like to seek rest on those frozen prairies. Your cabin in Montana Territory, though the same in Dakota, Wyoming, or Colorado's high country. Walls of hastily cut logs. What little could be done in the short summer. Logs settled unevenly, gaps wide, some big enough for fingers. Stuffed with mud, moss, old rags, even torn book pages, but wind still seeps in. Lying there at night, cold fingers brush across your face. The roof sod covered, heavy with rain or snow. Sometimes you wake to dripping in a corner, or frozen clods falling onto the blanket. In deep cold, the roof freezes solid good, but the fire's heat melts the underside, keeping it perpetually damped. One small window. No glass, expensive and far away. Oiled paper stretched tight. Pale light by day. Another entry for cold by night. So you hang old canvas over it bed. Beyond urban imagination. Wooden frame, rope webbing, thin mattress stuffed with hay or grass cut last summer when heat seemed a distant problem. Now you feel every straw poking through. The flattened hay offers little comfort. Below, the floorwood planks with gaps breathing cold from the earth. Sometimes the floor feels colder than the roof. Blankets, heavy wool rough, damp, Wool's virtue, warm even when wet. Your breath freezes into frost crystals on the blanket, morning edges stiff, and a buffalo robe arted from a hunter 2 years ago, heavy, smelling of old animal and smoke, but it holds heat wonderfully. On the worst nights, pile everything on: wool blankets, buffalo robe, extra clothes, even your coat. Still, cold creeps in. Sleep means surrender to exhaustion, not comfort. Preparation starts in the afternoon. Sun sets early in winter by 4. Tend the fire sparingly. The woodpile outside never enough. Trees scarce, what grows often green or wet. No time in summer for drying too many tasks. Planting food, repairs, survival. Evening, weak stew-dried beans. Maybe salted pork if any. Water from melted snow. Eat by the fire, face warm, back cold. The cabin so small and drafty, never evenly heated. Then small chores seal the door tight against wind and animals. Wolves howl almost every night. Boots by the fire. Clothes for tomorrow laid out. Last. Wood to bank the fire, cover coals and ash to hold till morning. Sometimes it works. Sometimes not, start fresh. Finally, to bed. Blanket cold. Shiver on entry. Some heat stones in the fire. Wrap in cloth for bed. You've tried an hour of warmth, then just heavy cold stone. But sometimes worth it for that first hour. No thought of undressing. Wool shirt, long underwear. Socks all on coldest nights. Coat on, hat over ears. Comfort and modesty for those who can afford heat. Lying down, cold slips inside clothes. Pull blanket to neck. Curl tight knees to chest. Hands in armpits or between thighs. Smaller you are, better. Cover all but nose and eyes. In this position, 8 to 10 hours pass. Night sounds different. Wind constant, low, moan, sometimes scream. Whistles through cracks. Wood contracts with sharp cracks, startling you. Snow. Slides off roof. Wolves, coyotes. Distant mountain lion roars. Mice scurrying in walls. You've made peace, they survive too. Sleep doesn't come easy. Body tired, mind alert. Light anxiety, always fire, might die. Cold worsen, storm hit. Thoughts. Circle. Slow breaths to push towards sleep. Some not alone. Families. Children in same room, on floor or corner. Couples together to bodies, heat precious. In mining or cattle towns, bunkhouses, men shoulder to shoulder, tiered bunks. No privacy. Others' breaths, coughs, shift strangely comforting. Human lullaby. Worse for lone wanderers. Cowboy bedded on prairie. Horse tied nearby. Small fire. Beans cooked. Lie fully clothed. Ground so cold it draws body heat. Wake hourly, tend fire. Listen for sounds. Confirm you're alive. Prairie people. Learned truths city folk never know. Sleep, not rest, but temporary surrender. Body demands, so you give, but never fully let go. Part always awake, alert. That alert part never fully quiet. Danger real. Careless, frostbite takes fingers, toes, even nose in sleep. Poorly vented fire. Carbon monoxide kills whole cabin before dawn. Hypothermia lulls you to sleep and ends. You, when cold extreme. Line between sleep and death, terrifyingly thin. Stories heard spring finds wanderers' bodies curled in blankets, looking peaceful in sleep, but frozen solid. So even half-conscious, Check yourself. Limbs numb, feeling in hands, head spinning from cold urge to throw off covers. Bad sign, must move, wake, act. Winter nights long. Sun sets early, rises late 16 hours dark. Can't stay awake. Candles, lamp oil, precious can't burn wastefully. Nothing to do in dark but sleep. So sleep fragmented. Thus wake to add wood, thus again. Not satisfying, but enough to carry on. Some nights worse. Real blizzard. Wind howls, cabin shakes, snow. Block stores so thick you can't open. Those nights just endure. Keep fire as possible. Stay under blankets, wait, nothing else. Outside world so hostile, almost unreal. Not malicious, indifferent. And indifference can kill easily. But strange things sleep comes anyway. Despite all cold, discomfort, fear body finally gives in. Exhaustion too strong. After day walking snow, chopping frozen wood, fighting icy water and tools body demands rest. You give it, imperfect as it is, in pre-dawn coldest hours, when finally sinking deep, a moment comes just a moment discomfort eases. Under wool and hide layers, body heat balances cold. Night sounds blend into background, almost soothing. In constancy, you sink close to true sleep. Dreams, if come, often of warmth summer, places left behind with real walls, windows, stoves heating whole rooms. Sometimes food, meals not eaten months. Sometimes people, faces missed, voices nearly forgotten then, always to soon wake. Fire low or out, cabin colder. Stiff from one position, poor mattress, accumulated cold body aches. But alive, survived another night. Push stiff blanket aside, sit up, breath white in cold air. Reach for boots by fire still stiff, cold. Begin again. This was the rhythm of winter sleep on the prairie. Not comfortable, not soothing, but enough. Enough to see another day. Settlers, miners, cowboys, farmers all learned sleeping cold. No choice. Sleep meant survival, survival. Most important. So they slept poorly, uncomfortably, anxiously. But night after night, winter after winter, winter until spring, came mercifully warming the world again. Now, as our imaginary cabin fire dims, let's shift from common struggles to one special man who became legend not for enduring cold, but how. He did. His name, Hughlass. His story woven with such brutal winter nights, it seems unbelievable. Yet every word in historical records, imagine a man lying alone under stars, so cold they seem to crack the dark, wrapped in the skin of the bear that tried to kill him, crawling hundreds of miles through frozen wilderness with wounds that should have ended life, closing eyes each night, unsure if morning comes, yet waking again and again driven by something stubborner than hope. This isn't traditional heroism, quite a story of stolen rest in impossible conditions. Body's stubbornness, demanding sleep even when sleep means surrender. Hughlass, born around 1783 in Pennsylvania, though early life, vague like many frontier men's. What we know, lived danger long before fame. Time at sea, perhaps forced onto pirate ship. Records unclear, as for those on civilization's edge. Later captured by Pawnee tribe, lived years among them, learning language, ways, survival skills. By 1823, glass fur, trapper and guide. joined Major Andrew Henry's expedition up Mizzou River now. South Dakota, Montana, age about 40 old by frontier standards. Most trappers, young risk-ready, but Glass experienced. Red weather, find water, sleep lightly, wake instantly to danger. Fur trapping expeditions control desperation. Groups into unknown lands, seeking beaver pelts for European hats. Light travel, minimal gear, rely on hunting, foraging. Winter, temporary camps, primitive wood and hide shelters. Glass knew this life. Winters in shelters barely qualifying branch. And buffalo hide linters, or hollowed under overturned trees, blocking opening with snow to trap body heat. Night fire tended hourly die, might not, RELIGHT. Sleeping arrangement, extreme, minimal, lucky, buffalo robe on ground. Wool or hide blanket. Rifle always near wolves, bears, hostile tribes, anytime. Shallow pit for wind protection. Sometimes. Lean against horse animal heat more reliable than fire. Companions similar. Circle fire, feet toward flames. Each responsible own survival, but closeness, comfort. Wilderness, human sleep, sound snoring shifts, occasional wake to check surroundings. Whispers of those sleepless. Prairie sleep never private, never fully quiet. August 1823. Glass scouting ahead near Grand River mouth. Winter not yet, but cold anytime here. Through brush by river, sudden grizzly sow with cubs worst scenarios. Bear attacked fiercely as mother. From survivors' accounts and Glass's words, bear tore him apart. Scalp ripped, throat gashed, ribs broken, one leg crushed. Wounds to kill in minutes. Companions arrived, drove bear off, found man near death. Major Henry ordered to stay till death, then bury. John Fitzgerald and young Jim Bridger, later famous, agreed for extra pay. Rest left. They waited. One day, two. Glass clung to life with unnatural stubbornness. But area dangerous. Arikara warriors' threat. Finally decided. Took glasses, rifle, knife, Gorall essentials. Left without burial, knowing alive. When Glass regained consciousness, alone in wilderness, unarmed, unable walk, wounds bleeding. Pus, infection certain, cold growing. Here his story becomes sleep story. Can't walk, so crawls. Nearest Fort Cayo over 200 miles. Along Cheyenne River, drags himself south. First days, few yards. Pain extraordinary, but constant pain becomes another state. But each night must sleep. Imagine, body broken, flesh torn, bones grinding every move. Now find rest bod. No weapons, no fire, no shelter. Knowing blood scent draws, walls your blood on clothes, wounds, marking trail. Glass drags to whatever cover. Sometimes brush, depression, sometimes nothing, just stop from exhaustion. Number. Blanket. Clothes torn, filthy. So uses what finds. Finds bare carcass. Cuts, large hide, section. Thick fur, his blanket, shelter. Only protection against elements. Nights. Wrapped in skin of bear that nearly killed him. Glass. Lies in dark, half sleep, half unconscious. Body needs rest to heal, but rest nearly impossible. Cold one problem, pain another. Worst, unprotected. Can't run, can't fight. Just lie hoping dark hides him. Mental strain worth considering. Each night perhaps last. Each eye closed perhaps forever. Yet must close. Body demands sleep, even especially in extreme, for healing. Some nights coyotes circle, hear calls, footsteps in dark, wrapped immobile in hide wait, till decided dangerous or too alive. Usually leave, sometimes so close, smell them wild, musky with own rotting wounds. Journey progresses, cold increases, especially nights. Morning, temporary blanket, frosted, teeth chattering, wake but wake. Crucial, against all odds, wakes. Eats what finds. Wild berries, digging roots, bare hands. Once wolves killed buffalo calf, eat, leave he crawls, eats remains. Gains more hide layer, with bear for more warmth sleep. Weeks pass, wounds impossibly heal slowly, crawl faster, cover more daily, but nights merciless. Autumn deepens, temperatures drop, heads into winter, insufficient gear, shelter, still healing body, finds Cheyenne River, follows, drinks, sometimes catches fish hands, water ice cold chills from inside, but prevents thirst, death. Nights, if brave, near river running water. Sound in dark becomes companion. Sleeping alone in vast wilderness has specific loneliness heart explained to those never felt. Silence not silent, wind, water, animal sounds, but no human presence so profoundly you're erased. Glass underhide looks at countless bright stars and real many. In that place, he alone sees them only consciousness, in all emptiness. Some historians think he talked to himself, keep minds sane and dark. Others prayed, though Glass not known particularly religious, perhaps just endured. Human endurance extraordinary when alternative death. As strength returns, Glass starts small fires, changes everything. Fire means warmth, yes, but protection. Animals avoid. Light in dark, mental comfort incomparable. Gathers dry wood possible. Uses found flint steel for small fires, tends all night. Fire makes sleep easier. Not easy, never but easier. Encounters other travelers. Helpful local tribes give food, basic gear. French trader group on river takes aboard boat. Journey shifts from desperate crawl to determined steps. But night's cold, sleep something earns not natural. Early October, reaches Fort Kiowa after 6 weeks. Fort people astonished. Heard of trapper left for dead by companions. Now walks barely, but walks into yard. Wounds, angry scars. Body emaciated, but alive. That night real bedwalled room, roof, proper blankets, real stove fire. Records say slept nearly 24 hours straight. Body finally allows full rest release, his vigilance kept alive in lone frozen nights. But Glass's story not end there. Not satisfied, just surviving. Wanted face those abandoned him. So winters at Fort Kiowa, recovering warm, safe sleep, regular. Food, healing impossible in wilderness crawl. Then spring sets out again. Fort Henry, then Atkinson, seeking Fitzgerald, Bridger. Finds Bridger, forgives. Boy young, perhaps pressured by older Fitzgerald. Never finds Fitzgerald, revenge imagined, never happens. Eventually, lets go. Returns familiar, life trapping, guiding, surviving. Another 10 years Prairie. Survives other. Dangers, harsh winters, rough sleeps in impossible conditions. 1833, near Yellowstone River, killed with 2 companions by Arikara warriors. Age nearly 50. Lived 20 years beyond most such men's. But history defines him by 1823 winter that impossible cruel. Not for endured violence, but silent stubbornness shown night after night, choosing rest each night when every reason to give up, closing eyes under bare hide beneath cold stars, a lone broken body yet wake to go further. For glass, sleep not. Comfort, not peace. Body's refusal to quit. And in that refusal, beauty purest form, prairie experience. Stubbornness to rest, wake, continue no matter what night brings. In our warm beds, safe from hunters and weather, hard imagine what glass endured. But perhaps tonight, drifting to rest, remember his image who slept in deadly conditions and woke. Found rest in restlessness, survived impossible night after nights became days. Days, years, story, legend. Prairie demanded much from those who went, but cruelest demand, even amid injury, danger, bone-chilling cold body, still wants sleep. Those unprotected silent hours needed, and somehow, against all, men like Hugh Glass could give body that rest. Brief, broken, insufficient, but enough. Always just enough. As we dive deeper into winter nights, let's move from familiar to mystery's edge. Prairie real survival and ancient customs meeting place. European settlers encountered lives they didn't understand. Common sleep mixed folklore, dreams, rituals, blurring physical and spiritual. Open prairie winter sleep has questions without clear answers. Torn diary pages, abandoned home archaeology, passed down stories, all point to sleep, culture far stranger, more complex than fatigued in cold blankets. Let's wander these mysteries together slowly, like familiar lands suddenly strange under winter moon. TIPI-engineering marvel and spiritual ritual rap. Plains, tribes Lakota, Cheyenne, Arapaho, others wintered this land thousands years before Europeans. Their knowledge newcomers desperately needed, but often failed fully learn. Much centered on tipi smart design, still somewhat mysterious for winter survival, proper tipi, not just tent. Planned environment, working with fire, wind, heat magical to understand physics. Conical shape shed snow, wind is island or collapse. Fear. Top smoke flaps create venturi. Effect pulls smoke out, draws fresh air below. Inner line a second, hide layer creates warm air pockets. Drops cold air, exits edges, dot construction, generations, knowledge feet. Poles specific time, specific trees. Flexible, strong. Hides tanned, breathe but blot weather. Skilled family erect or dismantle hour, but properly made. Withstands winds, collapsing settler cabins. But mystery here. Local people slept in tipis below zero, and many records say slept well, better than settler log cabins. How? Archaeology some answers. Sleep spot specific, not directly under smoke hole where cold drops, but back curved area where liner creates warmest pockets. Family on willow branch, raised platforms, covered buffalo hides, away frozen ground. Central fire tended carefully, all night conical shape spreads heat evenly. Sleep layers like modern sleeping bags. Buffalo hides trap air, hold warmth, wick damp. Willow platform allows airflow below. Some records 4-5 hide fur layers specific order max warmth, min weight. But beyond engineering. Ethnographic records, sleep, rituals, songs, before bed. Bed orientation. Not superstition or perhaps, but hidden survival knowledge. Head west to pose its strongest cold wind, not just ritual, practical. Evening routine, beautifully planned. Dark falls, build fire, heat stones. Stones placed around sleep, radiate heat all night. Children wrapped first, warmest spots, elders, Eggersbardis extra windbreak for young, old, and dream rituals. Many planes, cultures, huge spiritual value winter dreams. Long nights, scene time, physical spiritual worlds thin. People prepare dreams, fasting, prayer, sacred objects, sleep with medicine. Bundles, special stones, feathers under head or near. Young sometimes separate main camp, small shelter or alone prairie. Seek vision, dreams, guide life. Common winter harsh environment reveals true truths belief. Researchers wonder these dreams just spiritual or physical winter sleep effect. All night fire smoke, sealed tippy low oxygen, high altitude camps, light hypoxia, late winter food scarcity. All create altered consciousness, vivid dreams, light hallucinations. Missionary, trader diaries describe locales' extraordinary winter dream accounts. Talking animals, far journeys, prophecies. Europeans often dismissed immature superstition, but modern sleep researchers recognize lucid dreaming, sleep paralysis, hypnagogic hallucinations. What if plains, tribes, winter sleep culture, refined generations, learned work with harsh winter natural altered consciousness? What if dream rituals, sophisticated response, harsh environment, what Europeans just endured suffering? Dreams not personal, community knowledge, powerful dreams shared, elders interpret, sometimes followed. Dreams determine hunting strategies. Warn danger, set ceremony times. Thus sleep becomes not rest, but tribes, intelligence, gathering path, knowledge, waking consciousness, misses. We'll never know for sure. Knowledge, oral, generations, much lost colonization, violence, chaos. But mystery remains. Archaeology records, surviving stories, strange truth. Locals slept well, in conditions exhausting, maddening settlers. Settlers' strange adaptations. Now to settlers who created odd rituals survive unprepared winters. Nebraska, Kansas, Dakota sod home ruins. Archaeologists find repeated item. Smooth river stones, 4-6 groups, near beds. Stones repeated, heating, sins color change, heat cracks. Diaries confirm common heat, stones, fire, place bed, but mystery details. Some stones wrapped cloth, scraps not belong there. Silk, fine. Thread prairie, expansive rare. Why wrap hot stones, best cloth? Some researchers believe it's for retaining heat. The fine weave provides good insulation. Others say it's magical thinking, bringing memories of beautiful and good times into harsh reality. There's a profound touch in these wrapped stones. Imagine a woman, her hands rough from Prairie, work wrapping a hot stone from the fire in a silk scarf brought from Boston or Philadelphia. The scarf might be her last beautiful possession, the final memory of a soft life. Yet she uses it, transforming luxury into a survival tool. But perhaps beyond the practical, perhaps the silk's touch on her feet at night reminds her that she once owned silk in a world where such things mattered, even stranger. Some stones have carved marks, rough crosses, circles, with initials in the middle. Marks of ownership on ordinary sleeping spots, or prayers etched into survival tools. We don't know. Those who made them left no writings, their descendants know no stories. One theory says the stones were distributed in families, each person's own, to recognize by touch in a dark sod house. But why religious symbols? Why intricate designs? There's a scent of ritual in these carvings, beyond mere identification. In journals and letters sent east, settlers wrote of burying themselves in hay for warmth. Not just hay mattresses, but like animals, digging holes in massive prairie haystacks to hibernate. This was common where settlers delayed proper shelter before winter, or early storms collapsed inadequate structures. In a Kansas woman's 1860 diary, a family spent 2 weeks like mice in a vast prairie, haystack, small openings for air, careful small fires. She wrote of strange dreams, confusion of time, not knowing if awake or day or night. Her writing from those 2 weeks is dreamlike. Conversation she doubts happened, music heard that shouldn't be there. In one place, she was sure several days passed, but her husband said less than one. The sensory deprivation of hay burial, poor air, and constant fear created altered consciousness. A 19th century family at their sod house on the plains, showing off, ... They survived. Many families in similar conditions didn't, but they have no diaries. The mystery is adaptation versus desperation. At what point does a survival tactic become something else, a new way of life that's neither European nor indigenous, but born from the prairie? The settlers who buried themselves in hay weren't following European farming customs. They were seeking immediate solutions, trying anything and becoming something they weren't before. Death sleep nights. This phrase appears repeatedly in Prairie. Diaries and letters, always tied to winter. Writers assume readers understand, no explanation given, but we don't fully grasp it. From context, it seems such nights when cold was so extreme that sleep became dangerous. Temperatures dropped so low that the possibility of not waking became real. Some writings say, on such nights, family members took turns staying awake, watching each other, ensuring breaths continued, checking for frostbite or hypothermia signs. Preparation for death sleep nights was elaborate. Every cabin crack stuffed with rags, cloth, newspaper if available. Fire built as safely high as possible. All house blankets, quilts, extra clothes piled on sleeping family. Sometimes multiple families crammed in one cabin sharing body heat and resources. But some writings have stranger things. Such night's sleep had its own quality depth, heaviness, as if sleepers went somewhere far away. A Montana settler in January 1875 wrote of his wife on one death sleep night. She sleeps so deep that shaken Hag wakes her, breath slow. Waking, she speaks of walking childhood summer fields in Ohio. Disoriented, thinks she's 8 again. Takes time to return to herself. It sounds like hypothermia, but more. Extreme cold slows metabolism, creating near hibernation in humans who aren't supposed to hibernate. Body pushed to limits finds strange adaptations. Some woke from death sleep nights with no memory of the nighters, if those hours erased. Others spoke of vivid dreams more real than waking life. Some said they lived entire lives in one night imagined. Years while body froze under blankets. Prairie doctors, medical journals occasionally mentioned such cases. People thought dead in cold, warmed hours later to wake. In prairie winter, the line between sleep and extremity terrifyingly thin. The cultural response was this phrase, death sleep nights, acknowledging danger while normalizing it, making it part of winter survival. This phrase in letters sent east spread panic among readers. A woman wrote her New York sister, last week had 3 death sleep nights. Sister's terrified reply, "Thank God you're alive." The prairie woman, surprised, replied, "Of course alive. Everyone survives death sleep nights. It's just winter, this." Confusion reveals something important. The prairie was creating its own culture, own language, own normalization of experiences extraordinary elsewhere. In mining camps, cattle towns, railroad construction sites, communal sleep rituals developed. These weren't traditional communities. Patchwork assemblies of strangers, mostly men, connected only by work. Yet winter had pushed them into intimacy unimaginable otherwise. Bunkhouses built for efficiency, not comfort. Long, narrow buildings walls, lined with 2 or 3-tier bunks, stove in middle, maybe 1 or 2 windows. In worst cold, 50 crammed wear, 30 fit body heat, precious. No one wanted small, cold, outbuilding. Bunk tiers hierarchy complex and often contentious. Top warmer, but hard to climb and risky of fall. Bottom, easy access, but coldest near. Door drafts. Middlemost desired, but higher chance, near snorer or smiller. Newcomers got worse spots. Veterans best. Transients described these places with mix of horror and fascination. Smell unbearably in washed bodies, wet wool, tobacco smoke, frozen doors preventing emptying privy buckets. Sound constant snoring, coughing, restless shifting. Fights over stolen blankets or spots. Violence common, but brief a punch. Wrestle ending quick. No one afforded serious injury, winter still ahead. Unwritten rules. Complain, fight, but no harm, everyone's survival depended on all working. But strange things happened too. A sleep-watching culture emerged. People unconsciously synced sleep. Rhythms with bunkmates. If someone screamed a nightmare, others woke, waited till calm. If snoring stopped always, bedside nearest shook to restart breathing. Some took turns awake tending fire. More fascinating happened without agreement, discussion. Group unconsciously organized for collective survival. A Wyoming rail worker wrote, waking at night to see shifts, watching no discussion, like we. We're one creature, he wrote. A beast with many eyes and some eyes always open. Anthropologists call it communal vigilance seen in other high-stress survival situations, but particularly documented in prairie winter camps. The mystery, how much conscious cooperation, how much primal, humans reverting to ancient sleep. Ways lost in individual shelters. Our distant ancestors didn't sleep in private bedrooms. They slept in groups around fires, predators in dark. Prairie recreated that somehow, and perhaps something old awoke in human sleep behavior. Bonds formed in these communal sleep places complex. People who wouldn't mix in normal life, different. Classes, races, temperaments became intimate in shared vulnerable sleep. You knew who snored, who had nightmares, who talked in sleep, who quietly cried thinking no one heard. Some bonds lasted beyond winter. People sharing harsh winter bunkhouse sought each other later years, trusted in business, stood by in disputes. Winter sleep, intimacy crossed social boundaries, forging relationships. Shared dreams, winter dreams demand attention. Multiple sources, diaries, letters, even newspapers speak of prairie winters' extraordinarily vivid dreams. So real that waking confused memory and imagination. Shared dreams, multiple people in same cabin or bunkhouse having similar dreams. A Wyoming schoolteacher in 1878 wrote of one night she and 2 boarding students all dreamed of a woman in white walking over snow. Morning comparison unsettled the woman's hair, direction of travel, even hummed tune matched. Educated, rational. Teacher tried dismissing coincidence, but clearly disturbed. Journal pages seeking explanation, proposing then rejecting theories. Modern sleep science offers some explanations. Fires with poor ventilation. Carbon monoxide causes hallucinations and shared altered states. Late winter malnutrition lowers serotonin, heightens dream vividness. Social isolation and lack of external stimuli heightens focus on each other unconsciously, suggesting shared imagery. Science of close sleeping quarters explains too. Sounds and movements influence nearby sleep cycles. Someone entering REM and stirring or sounding can trigger others into REM. Spending days together with low external input. Dream content overlapping, not impossible, but possibility. Dreams had purpose. In long, dark, isolated winter months, dreams became entertainment, escape, way to keep minds sane. Discussing dreams, building on each other's stories, created, shared, imagined lives, making harsh physical reality bearable. Some prairie communities developed winter dream-telling rituals, sharing dreams at breakfast. Best, strangest, most vivid, comforting dreams retold and elaborated. By winter's end, these dreams almost mythic, tales binding community. Children, especially, awaited dream-telling. Time. In world-scarce entertainment, books expansive and few, same stories retold, new dreams, source of new stories. Children sometimes added extra details to dreams for appeal. Adults indulged, knowing dream, truth, unimportant ability to get through. Another day important, not unique to Prairie. Many cultures have dream-sharing rituals, but in Western winter camps, it had specific form. Dreams took on Prairie qualities: vast, empty, strange. People dreamed of walking endless snow under impossible stars, meeting talking wolves, finding hidden summers under ice. Writings show longing quality, dreams of warmth, abundance, home, but also beauty, wonder, transforming harsh prairie into magical. Waking life brutal, deadly prairie in dreams, place of mystery and possibility. Were they just dreams? Or mental adaptation for enduring hardship months, not just physically, but psychologically? Mind creating beauty and mystery to balance cold. Hunger, fears, ugliness. Archaeological sites hold mysteries. In 1870s, Montana settlement ruins. Researchers found sleep niche in cabin wall where none should be. Too small for a doll, but carefully made. Stones inside show heating marks, burn scars, regular small fires. Position odd not for child bed, near roof, like shelf. Niche just 5 feet long, less than 3 wide. Adults had to curl fetal too. Fit, yet river smooth stones, carefully set. Extra labor for such small space. Burns suggest regular inside fire, dangerous in narrow space near wood. Current theory, perhaps a woman from nearby items slept there. Why? Higher spot, warmer heat. Rizzes, but nearer smoke, more dangerous. Mystery of priorities, what forced such odd sleep spot? One possibility, opposite claustrophobia, comfort in tight womb-like space. Another, ill or injured, isolated but warm. Darker possibility, hiding spot, escape from abuse, though speculation. Other sites show such oddities. Cabins with dug. Sleep spots, underground, accessed by ladder. Small box-like clothes space in larger room. Were these responses to specific conditions or expressions of mental strain in weird architecture? In North Dakota site, archaeologists found rectangular site. Archaeologists found rectangular. Pit dug in sod house floor 3 feet deep, sized for one lying. Walls lined prairie grass, wooden lid pulled over to close. Sleeper underground in complete dark, surrounded by earth. Why build and use such? Only explanation, extreme cold. Partial burial provides warmth. Earth holds steady temperature better than air, but mental impact worth thinking. Being buried alive nightly better than cold. We find sleep artifacts, but experiences elude. Hot stones, high niches, shared beds, underground pits, people enduring desperate winter nights, but feeling those moments' darkness way distant. The deepest mystery, how people endured darkness mentally. Modern people accustomed to electric light can't imagine Prairie's true winter dark. Afternoon 4, 5 to morning 7, 8, 15 hours dark. Candles or lamp oil can't burn all, so mostly in dark, only embers faint glow. What to do, 15 hours dark, 4, 5 months, night after night. Can't read, can't work, talk, limited. So sleep, but no one sleeps 15 hours, even in winter. Pre-electric sleep rhythms, different from modern. Buffet sec, sleep first and second, with quiet wakefulness between. Common in prairie diaries, intensified by long dark. Sleep in exhaustion soon after dark. Wake after 4 hours quiet till morning, 8, 9 hours. Not insomnia. Natural, expected. Valued. Midnight wakefulness time for quiet reflection. This biphasic sleep culture seen in history, special in Prairie. Long dark made inevitable. 4 hours sleep, wake midnight. 1, 2 hours quiet prayer thoughts, sometimes whisper wits. Other awake then sleep again till morning. Not insomnia. Natural rhythm. In waking dark hours, what did they think? Mind in idle time. Some writings suggest. Some planned spring, task lists. Others meditation like near sleep but aware. Some prayer memorized chant songs, but dark wakefulness. Useful too. Women did handwork in dark knitting, sewing, fingers so accustomed no light needed. Men carved wood by touch, others prayer divine or self in dark. Some fear dark's pressure, cold nights wait, counting till morning. Panic in time's slow pace. Writings of losing mind in 3 months dark. Kansas one wrote of neighbor screaming at night, thinking dark, alive, choking. Wyoming diary woman, silent 3 months returned spring. Isolation, dark, cold, combined broke people, physical hardship alone couldn't. Mystery how it shaped them. How months dark altered mind, dream, self. Seasonal depression, common, unnamed. Winter suicide rates show not all survived mentally, but most did, endured dark, cold, bad sleep, emerged spring, and returned next year. Human spirit such resilience, it doesn't break. Or breaks, but functions broken, finding rest, peace in intolerable conditions. Spring awakening, cycle continues. Spring arrival, dramatic. Diaries of first warm day tears. Children run outside, not return. Adults face sun, absorbing light like. Flowers absent months. Days lengthen, sleep normalizes. Shared dreams fade. Winter bunk bonds loosen, but not gone. Cabins open, blankets air, warmth systems unpacked. Then summer passes, autumn comes. First cold night reminds winter approaches. And preparation begins, knowing what's coming, what cost. Yet stay, endure, adapt. Prairie winter sleep culture born from necessity, but became more. Shared experience binding people, testing, changing, showing fragility and extraordinary resilience. Hostile conditions, rest, thinking mysteries. We can take these mysteries into our own nights. Silk-wrapped hot stones, death-sleep nights, shared dreams in crammed bunks, odd niches unexplained, 15 hours darkened what done. These not just historical wonders, windows into human adaptation creating, meaning survival tactics in impossible. Prairie sleepers past what hands touch. But more cold hand too, rich, poor, cold touches all. Comfort bought, but conditional. Weather, travel, distance, isolation, reality, all risk. Whether's private rail car or sod hut, winter is winter. 1888 incident captures beautifully. Wealthy businessman Robert Chandler in private rail car from Cheyenne to Denver Prairie. Ultimate luxury, fully appointed car with sleeping berth. Small stove, carpet, curtained windows. But massive blizzards, school children's blizzard strands train. Coal runs out. Food limited. 3 days Chandler and companion's wife and personal secretary experience what thousands ordinary prairie folk always did. Wife's diary, fascinating. Describes warmth, fading, cold, entering. Fine blankets suddenly inadequate. Fear storm never ends. After rescue, reluctance return normal life. Now I understand what warmth shelter mean, she wrote. Before comfort my natural state. Now know it's specific, precious. Now sleep differently. Notice bed warmth. Grateful blanket weight. Perhaps storm's gift, though harsh teacher. This unease in other elite writings. Even in good physical conditions, not fully relax as if comfortable, sleep dangerous. Letting guard down in enemy territory. True rich rail barons, large ranch owners, territory governors often kept to homes. Fine houses in Denver, San Francisco, or east. But prairie property for business. 4-month winters, those properties meant travel, own odd, hardship, form where wealth bought some ease, but not escape. Caroline Mason wife, large Wyoming cattle owner deterred diary winter travels. Between Denver, home and ranch headquarters. Night after night sleep arrangements, contrast almost comically extreme. In Denver she slept for poster bed, feather mattress, room modern coal furnace radiating warmth through metal pipes. Nightgown silk and flannel, bed slippers rabbit fur warm. Made warm sheets with long-handled brass pan of coals before bed. But husband's business called North de Ranch, she accompanied. Then slept, stagecoach way stations, Weth buildings, dozen travelers crammed one room. Sharing beds, strangers, hoping lice not too bad. Cattle town hotels, walls so thin here next. Room, furnace, controlled by early riser. One storm-stranded coach, slept inside, pulled roadside, half-buried snow, curled under all blankets, coats, other passengers. Have slept best hotels New York and Paris, she wrote after that. And in freezing stagecoach hearing wolf howls. Sometimes these experiences mere weeks apart. This territory makes us all strange, Democrats at least, regarding winter. Her diary reveals important, prairie wealth uncertain, comfort bought, but weather travel, realties made all vulnerable. Willsey couldn't fully separate from prairie harshness, only negotiate finding soft moments in larger hardship picture. Prairie elite. Sleep social rituals, own interesting. Established towns, Winterfell, wealthy gathered evening soirees, late dinners. Cards, parlor, music stoves, consuming wood keeping rooms warm. These for entertainment also deny winter dark insisting civilization here still holds own rhythm. But practical too. Returning home, dark, cold streets, dangerous. So host family offered guests stay night. Created odd intimacies, social equals suddenly sharing house. Sometimes rooms or beds in old bundling custom they thought left centuries ago. Denver society lady. Margaret Whitfield wrote letter of waking. Guest room frost on window, fire out, then descending in last night's evening dress, join hosts, breakfast awkwardness. Everyone pretends, normal, dignified. We keep up appearances, she wrote. Those circumstances make them somewhat comical. Dress for dinner, though sleep fully clothed after. Use fine china, though water frozen and washing wait spring. Comfort. In ritual perhaps, though practically useless. This pretense civilization, stubborn propriety, despite harsh conditions, central to Prairie elite identity. Sleep part, retiring respectable hour, maintaining privacy dignity, waking refreshed. Proper retire. Often impossible but attempted. Architecture elite sleep places tells own story. Period, large houses, bedrooms, revealing. Upstairs supposed warmer, heat resides but nearer winds. Multiple windows for light air, but cold entry. Despite house. Grandeur, bedrooms surprisingly small. Why? Small rooms, easier heat. Wealthy understood reality too. Large drawing rooms, dining halls for entertaining. But bedrooms, most vulnerable, time kept. Many elite homes, sleeping porches and closed but unheated spaces. Sleeping cold, fresh air, considered healthier than warm, stale room air. Late 19th century fashionable health theory. Prairie wealthy adopted enthusiastically. Perhaps partly because made sleeping cold sophisticated health choice non-necessity. Montana Mansion still museum has such porch, glass 3 sides, narrow bed, small table. Sin says house ladies slept there year-round, belief prevent tuberculosis, build vitality. Sin amidst adjacent large fireplace heavy curtain bedroom husband used. They slept separately he in warmth, wife in cold both certain, own choice right. Modern visitors marveled, but shows eras sleep health, understanding. Comfort not always goal. Sometimes discomfort, sought suppose builds strength. Elite could afford choice. Poor endured what got. Elite Prairie homes, servants' quarters show sad disparity. Owners slept fireplace, fine linens, domestics, attic basement. Or separate outbuildings, where winter conditions, little better than settlers' rough cabins. Cook Mary Chun, Sacramento wealthy family wrote Sister San Francisco about Sierra Nevada summer ranch. Family bedrooms, feather beds, wool blankets. Servants. Converted barn loft, hay mattresses, whatever coverings brought. They don't think we feel cold like them, she wrote. Or if think, inconvenience, not enough to act. Sleep sharing bed to girls' warmth. Sleep fully clothed. Morning basin water frozen, warm over candle wash. Then descend warm dining room serve. Breakfast down they complain if food hot enough. This straightforward inequality many servant writings. Anger rare, if present muted, cautious. Reality this. Rich sleep, warm, poor, cold, everyone knows. But midst severe storms forced equality. When multiple fires, impossible family servants, crammed 1-2 rooms keep one large fire going. Emergencies broke social barriers. Necessary but uncomfortable all. 1882 storm trap 5 days territory judge's daughter wrote. We all slept drawing room, floor mattress around big fireplace. Father, mother, me, sisters, cook Mrs. Patterson, housemaid Annie. First night more than strange. Didn't know where look behave. But third night we just people keeping each other alive. Strangeness gone. Learned Annie snores. Mrs. Patterson prays. Loud before be done. Imaginable small intimacies before storm. Weather cleared, returned normal arrangements, all relieved. Yet something changed. Now seeing Annie reminds firelight lying beside. We're not equal, but not separate as before. Prairie elite children own odd relationship, winter sleep touch. Many sent east schooling boarding schools, warm stable conditions. Those stayed duality. Home comfort, but aware larger prairie reality. Colorado mine owner's son Thomas Everett School essay wrote his winter nights. Home, own room, imaginable luxury most prairie children. Father installed small stove, warm quilts, feather pillows. But wind sounds wake, thinking father's mine. Workers sleeping, rough barracks, mountains. Warmth makes guilt, Charles simply wrote, but not enough, give up. Bad, don't know. Father says, hard work, risk earned comfort. But I know work risk, just born it. This awareness and earned privilege in prairie elite children writings. Taught comfort, not universal, not certain, not fully deserved. Added mental complexity, their sleep supposed, simple rest. 1880 to 90s prairie progressed. Elite common sleep gaps, some widened, some narrowed. Towns established, infrastructure improved, hotels rose standards. Wealthy, more separate hardship, but winter. Cold touches, storms strand. Geography imposes democracy. City meets road stranded bank account, can't summon absent shelter, 1881 incident. Wealthy Robert Chandler, private railcar, Cheyenne Denver. Prairie extreme luxury. Appointed sleeping berth, small stove carpet, curtain windows. Massive blizzard saw children's strands. Coal out. Food limited. 3 days, Chandler companions. Wife, companions, wife, diary. Wife, diary. Warmth, lost cold entry. Fine blankets, inadequate. Fear endless storm. Rescue after. Reluctance normal. Understand, warmth, shelter, wrote. Before natural. Now specific, precious. Sleep different. Notice bed warm. Grateful blanket. Storm gift harsh teacher. Prairie elite not fully escaped winter touch. Could build better walls, by fine blankets, keep servants tend fires. But cold remains, isolation remains, dark remains. And sleep for rich, poor, fragile. Daily compromise with cold, perhaps equality therein. Not comfort gap truly deep but vulnerability. Winter prairie, sleeping all, somewhat unprotected. All close eyes, unsure morning brings. All here wind wonder shelter holds. Wealth advantages comfort, better survival. Odds but no certainty. No one had. That shared uncertainty, common vulnerability, something tender leveling us. Endured nights pass, but endurance itself, passing nights despite. What hands, prairie. Builder's touch demanded much. But perhaps most long winter nights when wealth status gaps fade, common human need rest. Warmth mornings, simple miracle. And thus our journey through frozen lands open west ends. Imaginary stove fire dims. Outside dark perhaps softens toward dawn. Or perhaps you listened whole story, timeless place between wake and sleep. Either way, time, wind, story threads head toward rest. We began question when winter turned prairie. Stone, survival uncertain, comfort elusive, most what sleep meant. Walked drafty cabins, breath frost inside walls. Crawled impossible distances hew glass, lying bare hide under indifferent stars. Touched shared dreams, death sleet nights, hot. Stones wrapped fine cloth, indigenous knowledge newcomers still learning. And saw wealth not fully protect. Coal hand chill, entered finest bedrooms too. All stories, pieced from past scraps, reveal something simple, yet profound. Humans slept against impossible conditions, unimaginable us. Closed eyes, surrendered rest. Not braver, stronger us no choice. Body demands sleep. Life claims rest. So found ways imperfect, uncomfortable as, needed carry on. Moment think, distance your sleep theirs. You lie perhaps thermostat controlled room pure magic prairie dweller. Walls insulated, windows sealed, roof sturdy, waterproof. Cold, feel, turn, dial or extra blanket closet, more blankets than whole prairie family. Safe wolves, weather, warm without effort, sleep without vigilance. No small thing. Full victory is so complete we no longer notice, but won by those before endured. Cold touch, learned bitter experience what works not. Built better shelters, past knowledge, generations till warmth ordinary not miraculous. Prairie sleepers knew not part progress. Just try and survive winter after winter. But stubbornness, refusing sleep when endurance tests that foundation what came. This legacy take, your warmth not always, your safety not assured, what normal. You miraculous them no history to appreciate fully. Close eyes knowing connected this basic need rest eyes shut. Surrender sleep though conditions say. Stay alert. They cold slept some must warm sleep. Endured endurance not always needed. Stubborn so one day stubborn yields ease. So tonight sleep well. Sink without guilt, with gratitude. Let blanket comfort, room warmth embrace. Dark, peaceful, not terrifying. Sleep come easy what came, less them. And as drift rest, perhaps winter dream not brutal open west winter. Soft winter scene, warm room gentle snow outside glass. Stars bright cold but distant. Worlds beautiful because safe from it comfort because others weren't. That's winter nights. Prairie dwellers, gift we no longer need. Their endurance brought our ease. Nights they spent finally yielded peaceful nights. Fire now embers. Story told. Open west winter nights faded history. We, our Timon warm bed awaits. Good rest, knowing safe. Sleep deep, honoring those couldn't. And when wake has, they woke, morning after morning perhaps. Moment notice how good, warm awakening feels. Surviving night without enduring. How miraculous mere living. How far come those frozen cabins, rough beds under merciless stars. Prairie sleepers, if could say sleep gift. Warmth blessing. Ability close eyes without fear, cherish every night. So now, cherish. Blanket, weight, comfort. Room, warmth, hold. Dark, be gentle. Sleep, come softly. Cold can't touch now.